Think about your current daily routine. Why is it that opening 100 tabs, scrolling through a video feed, or checking your phone for notifications feels effortless, while sitting down to read a single chapter of a book or writing the first page of a report feels like pulling teeth? The standard answer you will find online is that you lack discipline, that you're lazy, but neurologically, that's incorrect. Your brain doesn't hate hard work, it hates the lack of immediate reward. Every action you take is driven by a neurotransmitter called dopamine. Modern neuroscience has shown us that dopamine isn't the molecule of pleasure, it is the molecule of anticipation and motivation. It's the brain's way of saying, pay attention, something important is about to happen. In the modern world, we have hyperstimulated this system. A notification provides a microscopic drop of dopamine. A short-form video feed provides a tidal wave of it. When your brain gets used to receiving massive, effortless dopamine dumps every few seconds, a high-friction, low-reward task like studying or coding becomes incredibly painful by comparison. Your baseline has been shifted. To fix it, we don't need more willpower. We need a factory reset. Welcome to the Deep Work Lab. Disclaimer: the content on the Deep Work Lab is for educational and informational purposes only. While our protocols are rooted in neuroscience research, I am a content creator, not a doctor or a neurobiologist. Always consult a healthcare professional for personalized medical or mental health advice. To understand how to trick your brain, you have to understand the concept of the dopamine baseline. Medical research shows that our brains maintain a natural equilibrium, a steady state of focus and calm. When you engage in a hyperstimulating activity, your dopamine levels spike far above that baseline. But according to the principle of neurobiological homeostasis, the brain demands balance. To compensate for the unnatural spike, it immediately pulls your dopamine levels below your normal baseline. Neuroscientists refer to this as homeostatic dip or a transient deficit state. When you are in this deficit state, normal life feels utterly boring. A blank text document looks terrifying, a textbook feels unreadable, you feel an intense, anxious urge to seek out another spike just to get back to feeling normal. This is the cycle of chronic distraction. You aren't working on your goals because your brain is biologically trapped in a dopamine deficit. If you want to make work feel easy, you have to intentionally protect and restore that baseline. Now let's go through the steps on how to achieve this. The first step to restoring your baseline is the visual fast. This is a deliberate 2-hour window before your deepest work block where you aggressively remove low-friction, high-novelty triggers. No phones, no background music with lyrics, no quick glances at algorithmic feeds. And I'm not saying this just based on the research, but based on personal experience. It has worked for me. I was deep into this hole. For these 2 hours, you must allow yourself to experience a lower stimulation environment. If you need to sit on your desk and think, do it. By starving your brain with cheap, hyper-stimulating inputs, you allow your neurochemistry to clear out the noise. Because the brain isn't getting massive spikes from your device. Its threshold for what constitutes an interesting task drops back to normal. Suddenly, the report you need to write becomes the most stimulating thing in the room. Boredom is the ultimate lever for focus. So just give it a little time, a little consistency, and you'll get there. Now let's move to phase number 2, which is friction engineering. Motivation is unreliable, but environmental friction is absolute. You must design your environment so that bad habits require immense physical effort, and good habits require zero thought. If your phone is on your desk, the friction to check a text is less than 1 second. Your brain's reward-seeking pathways will always choose the path of least resistance. If you want to work deeply, hide the triggers. Place your phone in another room. Use software tools to block distraction websites at the application level. Simultaneously, make your target task frictionless. If you need to write tomorrow morning, leave your word processor open or your monitor tonight before you go to bed. Have your notebook open to the exact page with your pen resting directly on top of it. When you sit down, there should be zero operational steps between your body and your execution. I'll give you a personal example right now. I edit videos for work. I have a production company and I need to edit videos, I need to write scripts. So it is extremely hard to sit down and complete that immense task if I have too much friction. So what I used to do is very simple: clean my desk, organize that, just that part, not the entire room, put my laptop, open the editor, and just leave a few notes on a notebook. And when I wake up, I can do that. I woke up early in the morning, and right before my coffee, I started editing. Now let's move to the final phase, which is training your brain to tolerate delayed gratification by structuring how you reward yourself. Set a strict 90-minute timer. This is your deep work block. During this time, your only job is to push through the initial friction. The first 15 minutes will always feel uncomfortable because your brain is actively searching for a quick dopamine hit that isn't coming. But if you hold out past the 20-minute mark, your brain adapts, settling into a deep focus state. Once the 90 minutes are completed, then you provide the reward. Take a walk, grab a coffee, or check your messages. By placing the high dopamine activity strictly after the high friction work, you reinforce a healthy neural pathway. You teach your mind that effort is the prerequisite to reward, not an obstacle to it. You do not need a new brain. You do not need an extraordinary superhuman amount of willpower. You simply need to respect the chemistry of your mind, control your environment, and protect your baseline. Clear the noise, protect your focus, and build your own deep work lab. See you in the next protocol.